You're redundant. That's what my boss said. On my first day back from maternity leave, in front of 12 people in the Monday stand-up, while I was holding my breast pump bag. I didn't cry, I didn't argue, I just smiled. Because 20 minutes earlier, the CEO of the entire company had sent me an email that said, "Jenna, we are so excited to have you back. We need you." He didn't know about that email. My name is Jenna. I'm 31 years old, and for 4 years I was the top performing account manager at a mid-size logistics firm in Austin. I had never missed a target. I had brought in over $3 million in accounts. I took 12 weeks of maternity leave. 12 weeks that were legally protected, that were in my contract. While I was in the hospital, in labour for 19 hours, my boss posted my job on LinkedIn. This is the story of how I walked back into that office with a box that said, "Best Mum" on my mug, got fired in front of everyone, and then got his job with a single forwarded email chain. Before I got pregnant, I loved my job. I really did. I was good at it. Clients requested me. I remember my manager at the time, David, used to introduce me as his secret weapon. When I told him I was pregnant, he smiled. He said all the right things. "Family first, Jenna. We will support you completely." I believed him. So I did everything right. I documented every single client. I created a 40-page transition guide. I trained my temporary replacement, a new girl named Chloe, for 2 weeks before I left. On my last day, David even threw me a little party. There was cake. He gave me a tiny pink onesie that said, "Future CEO" on it. I cried. I thought I was part of a work family. I was so naive. The cracks started when I was 8 weeks into my leave. I was up at 3 a.m. feeding my daughter Maya. I couldn't sleep, so I checked my work email, just out of habit. And there was an email from a client, Mr. Henderson, a client I had worked with for 2 years. He wrote, "Jenna, I was told you quit. Chloe said you decided not to come back to be a full-time mum." My blood ran cold. I never quit. I never said that. I texted David immediately. He replied 6 hours later. "Oh, miscommunication. Chloe misunderstood. Don't worry about work. Enjoy your baby." I screenshotted that text. I don't know why. Something in my gut told me to save it. The next week, another client emailed me personally. Same story. "Heard you left?" I started saving everything. My first day back was a Monday. I woke up at 5 a.m. I pumped. I cried because I had to leave Maya. I put on my blazer that was a little tight now. I packed my pump bag and my laptop. I walked into the office carrying a small box of my personal things I had taken home before leave. My "Best Mum" mug was on top. A little stuffed bunny my team had given me was in there. The office was quiet when I walked in. No one said, "Welcome back." Chloe was sitting at my desk. At my desk. With my plants. Wearing my headset. David called an all-hands meeting. He stood up, looked right at me and said, "As you all know, we've had some restructuring while Jenna was away pursuing her family priorities. Due to budget cuts, her role has been made redundant." Redundant. He said it like I was a piece of old software. He said, "We have a box for your things. HR will walk you out." 12 people stared at the floor. No one defended me. And in that box for my things was the pink onesie he had given me. He had taken it from my desk drawer and thrown it in there like trash. I did not scream. This is what Clara's girls always do. We don't scream. I looked at David and I said very quietly, "Are you sure you want to do this today? In front of everyone?" He smirked. He said, "It's business, Jenna. Nothing personal." I picked up my box. My best mum mug was shaking in my hand. The little bunny fell out. No one picked it up. I walked to HR. The HR manager, Lisa, wouldn't look me in the eye. She slid a severance paper across the desk. It said if I signed, I would get 2 weeks' pay, and I would agree never to sue and never to talk about it. 2 weeks. For 4 years of my life. I said, "Can I have 24 hours to read this?" She said, "No. Sign now or you get nothing." I said, "Then I get nothing." And I walked out holding my box, my pump bag, and that dirty pink onesie. When I got to my car, I didn't go home. I sat in the parking garage and I opened my laptop, because for the last 4 weeks of my leave, I had been documenting everything. I had the LinkedIn job post David posted for my exact job title, posted 3 days after I gave birth, dated. I had the 2 emails from clients saying Chloe told them I quit to be a full-time mum. I had the text from David lying about it. And most importantly, I had that email from this morning.
At 8:12 a.m., before I walked into the building, Richard, the CEO and founder, who had hired me personally 4 years ago, had emailed me. He wrote, "Jenna, David told me you were thinking of not coming back. I told him that's insane. You are our best. I told him to do whatever it takes to keep you. Let me know if you need anything. Welcome back." David had never told Richard I was coming back. David told Richard I was quitting. So Richard would approve hiring Chloe permanently. David lied to the CEO to steal my job for his friend. I did not reply to Richard. I forwarded his email. I forwarded it to Richard, to the head of legal, to the head of HR, and to David. I wrote one sentence at the top. "Richard, I think there has been a miscommunication about my redundancy today. See below. Happy to discuss." And I attached everything. The job post, the client emails, the text screenshot. I pressed send at 10:04 a.m. from the parking garage. At 10:11 a.m, my phone rang. It was Richard. At 10:45 a.m, I was asked to come back up to the 12th floor boardroom. David was in there. His face was white. Lisa from HR was crying. Richard stood up. He said, "Jenna, I owe you a massive apology. What happened today was illegal. What David did violates our policy and federal law." He turned to David and said, "You're fired, effective immediately. Security will walk you out." The same security that was supposed to walk me out walked David out, with his own cardboard box. Richard looked at me and said, "Your job is still here. In fact, David's job is now open. It's yours if you want it, with a 40% raise and a real maternity policy for the next woman, which I want you to write." I had gone into that building as a fired new mom. I left as the new director of client accounts. Chloe quit 2 days later. She sent me a long apology email. I never replied. It's been 6 months now. I work 3 days from home. Maya's little bunny sits on my new desk, the one in the director's office. We hired 2 more moms who were pushed out of other companies. We have a mother's room now, with a real lock. David tried to sue for wrongful termination. It was dismissed in a week. The lesson isn't about revenge. The lesson is this. When they fire you on your most vulnerable day, they think you are weak. They think you will sign the paper because you are tired and you have a baby at home. They mistake your silence for powerlessness. But a mother who has been up for 19 hours in labour,
who is pumping in a bathroom stall, who is holding a box that says Best Mom while being called redundant. She is not weak. She is just getting started. She is documenting everything. If you have ever been pushed out for having a family, you are not redundant. You are the reason the next woman will have it better. This is corporate karma. And sometimes, karma wears a Best Mom mug. If this happened to you, comment where you're watching from. I read every single one. And the next story, she was told she wasn't leadership material because she was too emotional, until she showed the recording.